Rest in peace to A.T.I. So A.T.I was a musical legend in Botswana, a very young man who passed away on the 31st of August 2025. I've done a video on AKA when he passed because he was my favorite SA artist. I did a video on R.I.P as well, and I did follow-up videos on suicide and mental health. And A.T.I is a special case because I wasn't necessarily a fan in the sense of I didn't follow him and his music. I was introduced to A.T.I, the person, on YouTube when I was watching Podcast and Chill. They were in Botswana and he was the guest. I did a review of his interview because personally I wasn't happy with the interview and how it went. And I did a review. I gave my opinion. There was a lot of backlash from the Botswana people on YouTube, particularly the comments. And I was quite surprised because I gave clarity in my feedback and I spoke from a level of understanding based on what the platform was all about. So it wasn't shade and it wasn't to negatively spark any outrage from the Botswana people. But now he has passed away and it's a sad thing. So I felt if I've had him on my video and I did a review of his interview, and to do a review of his interview, I obviously had to read up about him. I had to find out more. I did listen to some of his music back then, 2-3 years ago when I did the review. And now to find out that he has passed, it didn't sit well with me because to this day, I'm still receiving negative comments on that specific video. But it's not a video that I'll delete because if you watch the entire video, you get more context. So a lot of people, I think, were acting out of outrage, out of support for the artist, out of not watching the whole video, honestly, because if you get the full context, then that wouldn't be the case. But I wanted to be a part of his tribute, right? He was laid to rest last week. I wanted to be a part of his tribute by firstly reading about him on the Botswana page, Your Botswana. The slogan is Our Botswana is Your Botswana, right? So let me read the article quickly and then share my opinion with regards to his life, even share some of the negative backlash that I've received on the comments themselves on that YouTube video, because I feel it would shed some light as well, and maybe more people will go into it and listen more to the mental health segment of that video that I touched on, and listen more to the decision-making aspect, listen more to the positive vibes that I actually brought to the video and adorned on this artist, which is A.T.I, right? So the article goes like this. Botswana pay tribute or homage to music icon A.T.I following tragic end. It was written on the 3rd of September 2025. So as Botswana continue mourning the death of the much-loved, multi-talented music icon Adeswana Molamogi, popularly known as A.T.I, no direct cause of death has been published. While many speculatively point the finger at a range of health complications, including a drug-induced heart attack, brain complications, and kidney failure, many more have taken to social media to pay homage to the star. His family and management company, Batubame Investments, announced the news in a press release on Sunday morning, describing him as more than an entertainer, but a cultural force, a voice of hope, and a light to countless people. Born in Serewe, Botswana in 1989, so he's a year younger than me. I was born in 1988. A.T.I was just 35 years old, very young, at the time of his passing. The tragic news follows a long public battle with substance abuse and mental health challenges, which A.T.I openly discussed in recent years. This backstory adds a profound layer of sadness to the collective grief, as peers and fans mourn not only the loss of a remarkable talent, but a life cut short by a well-known struggle. The announcement sparked an outpouring of heartfelt tributes and emotional reflections from government officials, fellow artists, and a heartbroken public across the country. A.T.I, a pioneer in Botswana's hip-hop scene and a celebrated lyricist, leaves behind a legacy that transcends music, touching the very soul of the nation. Social media platforms are flooded with deeply personal reactions. The Minister of Sports and Arts, Jacob Gilibeng, was among the first to express his sorrow, posting a poignant tribute. Rest in power, A.T.I. The song is ended, but the melody lingers on. That's actually quite powerful. Fellow musicians and close friends, many of whom shared stages and personal bonds with A.T.I, expressed their belief and heartbreak. His close friend, Tado's son, shared a poignant image of them together, writing, "Untahlile tsala yami, but from this voice note, I can hear you are saying goodbye to me, and God shall see me through indeed. I love you, my friend, always and forever." Then there's a couple of other tributes that are coming from various artists. So the point here is this: A.T.I was a powerful force. A.T.I was a powerful force. He had a great impact, a national impact in Botswana. And one of the biggest things I want to bring forth is a shout out to the Botswana people. I did the same thing in the other video, where as one of the things that I touched on was the force that the Botswana people are, because they stick behind their own. You look at the Olympic winner, Letsile Tebogo, you know, same. The Botswana people are there supporting him and are patriotic towards their own. So I've seen it because, as I said, I've received the brunt of the negative feedback from that previous video. So for all those that are still responding negatively to the video, kindly watch the entire video. Then secondly, I apologize if it's still lost in translation when you do watch that entire video. This is a video to celebrate a man that was a cultural force, that was an impact, but also to remind us that life does come to an end. And it's sad when you are this young when it happens. It's also an opportunity to reflect on the pains and the bane of existence that comes from some of the negatives that we encounter in life. A.T.I openly shared his struggles with substance abuse, with thoughts of unaliving himself. He openly shared that in public platforms, and I believe that's part of what made him a cultural force. So people understood, particularly the people of Botswana, understood the value that he brought to the country. He inspired a certain feeling and emotion within them as his supporters. He inspired positive attributes and possible actions for change within the people of Botswana. Now, music is transcendent, music is beyond borders, music is international, but so is social culture and social impact. If it wasn't for the role that he played in essentially following his dream, I wouldn't be making this video right now. I would have never ever researched him. I wouldn't have heard of his passing, and he wouldn't have meant anything. So there has to be a reason for every single thing that happens in our lives. The fact that I covered him in that video means I'm able now to say rest in peace to A.T.I. Rest in peace to A.T.I. Now, let's follow our dreams. And in pursuing those dreams, let's aim for the highest level of decision making that we can have. Granted, some industries are tougher than others. Granted, some challenges are bigger than we expect them to be. We almost feel inferior to those problems and challenges to a large degree. But stand strong. Stand strong. Follow people like A.T.I who actually were honest about their struggles. In other words, communicate your problems. That's a lesson that you can learn. Communicate your problems. Share your difficulties. Share in some of the uphills that you're facing. because solutions can come from the least expectant areas in your life. Don't just sit. Some situations are tougher than others. So we know that some mountains are just too heavy to carry. But seek help. Speak about your challenges. Seek help. Go to organizations that are there for you in your country that will assist you, particularly when it comes to mental health, depression, when it comes to thoughts of unaliving yourself, when it comes to negative things that will impact you forever. There's certain decisions once taken can never be reversed. There's certain decisions once taken can never be reversed. So in that, embody a solution-driven approach and try to do your best. All you can ever do in your life, now and forevermore, is to do your best. Learn and cultivate the spirit of those that you followed. Another thing, with every decision that you take, aim to have a positive output that you bring into the world. Give it your all. Our talents are all different. A.T.I followed his talent. Our talents are all different. Follow your talent. See what type of difference you will bring about in this world. See what type of impact you will bring about in this world, because you followed your dreams. You followed your talents. You built on your skills. You honed them and you became better. You became better. There's lessons in everything. There's a particular president of the US where they bestow a particular quote on him, where he says, "I learn from everyone, even if it's what not to do." So learn from every single experience, even if you're learning what are the things I shouldn't do. What are the things that are actually going to destroy me rather than build me? Then build on that. It's the least that you can do for yourself. So I take this opportunity once more to say rest in peace to A.T.I. Consolation and what is it? Is it consolation? Rest in peace to A.T.I. May his family be consoled. May they mourn and grieve in peace. May the Botswana people continue to support them. And may everyone learn from the lessons that were brought about by the life of this young man. My starters, I love you, I appreciate you, and peace to the Botswana people, and peace to his family. Cheers, guys.